the internet, but we're back. Sorry about that scare, guys. No, Kyrie, we just bought the cards too. Alright, virtuos. And we're back in. So, if, thanks for bearing with us, guys. Sorry about that. Let me also reboot the chat room. There is a storm going on tonight, so I suspect that it's actually a hailstorm. So I'm suspecting that has something to do with it. That's my suspicion. Did I lose you guys? Hopefully I didn't lose at least you, Kyrie, because I know this is your moment, this is your list, so... I kind of at least wanted you to see it through. What do we call it? We called it Zuberation? Zuberator? I think it was Zuberator is what we called it. Gotta pull it back up. No, the deck looks really good, Kai. I think it's gonna be really... Let me see if you're in here. Can you hear me? So, Kyrie, so I actually found out that there was some more fine print about the bit donations, and you had such an awesome, generous. If you guys weren't here last stream, Kyrie gave us a very, very generous bit donation. I went to withdraw it, or attempt to withdraw it, and you want to know what I found? It was so tilting. It has nothing to do with you. It was just there was more fine print. So apparently, not only do you need to hit a certain threshold of bits before they let you withdraw, they don't let you do your first withdrawal until 60 days after the first month that you've reached that threshold of 100 bits. Or excuse me, $100 worth of bits. And I know that was one of the big reasons you donated that, and that was awesome. And I know you donated it because your intention was to help send me to Vegas. And I thought the same thing. I was like, awesome, like this is going to put us almost all the way to our goal. And then I read that fine print and my heart just sank. This was like 2 days ago I read about the fine print. What do we call it? We called it Zuperator, right? Brewing is going quite well, Kyle DeBomb. It is going quite well. So let's see if I can find the darn deck. Actually, it should be in under decks we own now. Tesserator, Zuperator, here we go. Alright. We are playing Zubras. Kyle says, what was the problem with the donation? So basically, in a nutshell, in a really, really crummy way, I wish we had more one-drops. That's my only concern. I wish we had more one-drops. And that's why I was considering advocating for like Thoughtseize, or maybe even this will be a Birds. I could see this being a Birds of Paradise deck. If the curve needs to come down, like, we could certainly find some Zubras to slim on. I mean, for example, like, the white and the black Zubras are the ones we're the least sure about, but maybe it's the green one. I mean, the green one is the one that lets you go wide, but they're just 1/1s. No. And what you're making are Spirit tokens. I guess that's why somebody was suggesting running a Miser's, like, running some Spirit engine stuff. I don't know. If you were to ask my complete opinion, honestly, I'm more into the black Zubra. Like, my 3 favorite Zubras are going to be the Grixis colored ones, because I feel like draw, face, and card disadvantage on the opponent's end are all always going to be relevant. Like, sometimes against some decks, us going wide with a bunch of 1/1s won't matter that much, or us gaining some life won't matter that much. I actually, although I think these are the Zubras that are our colors, therefore they're better. Well, we're back, Kyrie. But you know, I mean, on second thought of this list, I do really, really worry that we don't have other 1-drops, and this could be a Birds of Paradise. You just worry about filling the hand with the blue one too quickly. You mean this one? Oh, don't worry, Kyrie. Don't worry. I mean, I know this is not a May. I understand this is not a May, but trust me, like we sometimes used to worry about decking out with the Esper deck we were playing tonight, the Espertold. You don't. You rarely do. So don't worry about it. Kyle says, wait in here. Oh, so Kyrie, I was trying to tell you, there's more fine print for Twitch bits. So apparently I can't withdraw the very, very generous bit donations that have been happening and you kind of spearheaded. Um, and the reason is, and this is what it says when I went to withdraw it, it says, in addition to needing to raise 100 bits worth, I have to wait 60 days beyond hitting that threshold. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I didn't tell them that, but that's just really absurd. And it hurts us because we wanted to. I want to go to Vegas, and I'm assuming that's why you gave such a generous bit donation, was to hopefully send me to Vegas. Yeah, 60 days after the first month. So the 60-day count, in theory, won't start until the end of this month. So that's going to be, let's see, May, June, July. We won't see it till the end of July, the bits. How do I plan to get there then? I'll figure it out, man. I'll figure it out. Always do. I'm scrappy. All right, let's play this. What's terrible is that I'm guessing the storm knocked out the internet or something. The cool thing though, let's you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and run this in a cash league. My only concern is maybe we should consider birds. Like if I was to change something, it would be I would try to sneak Birds of Paradise in here, because birds is another way that we can totally fix our colors. That's my only thought, is like, could we reshape, like if we're running birds, then I would slim a right. I don't even know about the caretaker. That's the hour. That was the timer for the hour. I mean, like if I was to rebrew this, I'm just worried that we just don't have enough things going on turn one, and Modern's a very just like kind of format. Like that was my I don't know where I was going with that, but basically just saying like you really do want a 1-drop. I understand that this deck's going to be heavy on 2-drops. I get that, but what if we did something like that and then further slimmed on the Zubras that we're not sure about, and then keep the same number of the extra copies in the board? Yeah, Kyle. I hope I get to go after all. That would be my recommendation. Cut something like these 4 and then run some birds. Just I know it doesn't have synergy with Cryptolith, but everything else will. And we're going to more we're more likely to remember. So that's 19 Zubra, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 4, 4, 4, so 12, 13, 14. Sorry, that's 15 Zubra, and that's pretty low, right? It's only 15. Well, 16. Mirror Entity is a Zubra, technically. It's a Zubra. So that's, you know. And again, we could go as deep as running the what was it? The Mirror Image, or the Phantasmal Image. That lets us essentially have more of the Zubras that we want, more of these 3, without having to go too deep. So I mean, those, and then you could find something else. Maybe you can cut an Evangel, although I don't think we want to. That seems like almost a win condition for us. Maybe you do cut one more of the black Zubra. And again, like maybe I'm just totally off base. We don't need this effect, and maybe we're fine. I just worry that we're gonna be like, we're really grindy. I just feel as though we're gonna be a little bit slow out of the gates without something like birds. So what are your thoughts, Kyrie? What are your thoughts? Do some number of birds? Ike actually counters and says, skip birds, we have Vile. Okay. Okay. Alright, well, I'll keep my lips shut. Yeah, is the Phantasmal more where we want to be, or do you want just more physical Zubras? experience with birds was a one of in a red-green mid-range. Oh yeah? Can't Phantasmal off the cavern though. Oh, that's true. And then this blue is gonna really hurt us. That's true. Let's stick to the 3-2 split. You know, let's just run it like we thought we were going to. Let's do it. So let's go ahead and set this up for a cash league. Ball says I sent you a message. Check out when you get the free time. We'll do balls. On Twitch, on what platform? I'm not looking for it. Did you send it to me on GameWisp? You sent it to me on Twitch? I didn't see it. I should see that immediately, shouldn't I? No whispers. Like, I just sent you a private message. Sent the old-fashioned ways via messages. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'll have to look at that later then. So yeah, we could do like a friendly modern league. How's that sound, guys? Troopers? Oh no, the issue with me putting in a league though is we'd have to finish the league before I can give you your cards. Let's just do some one-mans. That would be maybe a mistake because I don't know how long you're going to be up. I don't know how long I'm going to be up. Now let's just do some modern queues. Let's do some two-mans until we kind of get a feel for the deck. Let's do some two-mans. You've got all night? Well, I'm just worried that like we may not want to do a full league, and like here's the other concern I have. So anytime I brew session, I have to kind of keep it to the same amount of time. We're already over the hour-long brew sesh, so once I start to go over that, you know, I don't want to make other subs feel like, oh well, you know, so and so got more time. Well, in fairness, my power got knocked out. Oh, this would be a keep, right? Kind of. Yeah, we'll keep it. I'm worried about casting the Return to the Ranks though, since we have the one Overgrown and the Forest. Maybe we can't afford this Overgrown too. All the other fetch land, all the other shock lands we were running previously were white. Like we had, yeah, this is white, these are white, Temple Garden's white, Founder's white. We may not have room for the Overgrown Tomb, and I'm worried that I just found that out. Yeah. Womp womp. Maybe just one more flats. Yeah, womp womp, for sure. Don't forget that it has Convoke. Truth. Yeah, I mean, this card's pretty nuts. But you need a white creature to be able to pay the white on that. Alright, we're playing Drazi. Playing some Drazi. So I'm just going to violin the Seer. Best card he can take is probably our Company, but we don't even have enough lands to cast it, so maybe he'll just take my Zubra. Took the Company? Okay. Indeed. Okay. So we have the blue zebra. Guess we just toss it back. Would you even just consider blocking with Floating Dream, like chump the Thought Knot, or you kind of want to build up to having both of these on the table, don't you? It's a smasher. Oh geez. Well, I guess we have to start chump blocking. Maybe this is the kind of deck we don't want to go up against. Block sack. Yeah, I think we have to block sack. Was a fast hand from the Drazi? Yeah, unfortunately. We want the scry to happen first, don't we? So let me... Yeah, first in, first out. Oh, no, I don't get to choose, do I? This is going to happen before the Xeraseer scry happens, no matter what I do. Unfortunately. Alright, now we get the scry. Return, bottom that. But Cryptolith is a solid draw for us. Godless. Okay, so Cryptolith. Okay, what's the most busted stuff we could do? Like, so we play out the Cryptolith, that's easy, but where does the rest of this turn go? Are we going to consider shocking? No, that wouldn't work. Don't think you consider shocking. I think we just play the Godless and maybe chump block with Ember Fist Zubra again and do another scry off the Vizier Seer. We'll just serve in here. Well, no, do we not want to serve in because we're maybe considering... Well, this is a sorcery, anyways. This is what you think as well? My concern is without keeping at least Vizier Seer... Like, Vizier Seer plus Godless is going to let us do the return. So when we serve in, we'll put in the Ember Fist, we'll chump Thought Knot. Ike says, actually, I think this is just the kind of deck we just don't want to see. Yeah, we might just be toast. It's fine. Map. And that's fine. And if we needed to get beat down... Oh, I forgot to play our Godless Shrine. Shoot, that was a pun. I meant to play the Godless Shrine last turn. My bad. My bad stream. I did mean to play it. I did. Did mean to play. Why did I not put the Godless Shrine into play? We're probably dead, but let's see what we can do. At least we're seeing this engine at work. Oh, this is creature or player? I like this a lot more. Wow, I did not realize that Ember Fist was creature or player. I thought it was just player. Bottom this because we already have the Godless. It's not over yet, stream. I meant to put this into play though, so we're going to be taking We're going to be taking some pain that we weren't supposed to. Alright, another Ember Fist. Cool. So, but we're still not in that threshold of killing Thought Knot Seer. Well, we could. We could, like, aim all of the Zubra damage at the Thought Knot. Yeah. Alright, so hold up. So we shock ourselves, which, obviously, we shouldn't have had to do that. But, this will tap for white. White, Hold up. Let's put in this other Zubra. Let's put in this other Zubra. I think we can kind of go off here, right? Let me think about it. Like, you sack this Zubra. It's going to be equal to the number of Zubras that died this turn. So how many Zubra am I getting back? I'm going to get back 2. So I guess we still go upstairs with this, right? No, we need to be doing some blocks. So I guess we still just aim upstairs. Tap mana first? No. I couldn't, I tried. This is, yeah, no haste. Exactly. Otherwise I would have. Bottom. Okay, white. Turn. The blue and one of the reds. I think it's where we want to be. This is a cool engine, though. I mean, we'll get to do this. We'll get to do this bouncy castle nonsense a couple times. Send it back. Actually, I think the thing we're supposed to do is not sacrifice the which Zubra do you not sacrifice here? I guess you want to keep the dismember. So let's just draw a 2. In this case, bottom. I mean, our engine started to get going, and you see how important the blue. Now, hopefully, you see how important the blue Zubra is, Kyrie. Just like we would have had nothing really. So maybe we get to live one more turn, and that might be all that it takes for us to kind of start to go off. You know, I'm hoping. But the Vizier Seer's been solid. I do think that some number of Vizier Seers was right. I mean, I think. Well, yeah, happens. Ooh, wait, this could let us do it. This is like the effect that we're missing in this kind of a board state situation, just like meat. It's kind of what we were missing. My concern, though, is we don't have the extra mana. This might even just be like a Planeswalker here at this point. Is this Ugin? Oh, Ballista. That's lethal. Alright, good games, Jazzy. Alright, we'll board, and hopefully we have some tech for this. I don't even know what we're boarding into. I guess what I'm concerned with is we gave it like the Fiend Hunter effects, and I know somebody suggested there aren't many 2-drop options that act like a creature removal spell. The Smasher was really what the game was about. The Smasher made it so that we couldn't really do what we needed to do. I mean, we might even want Sculler for this matchup, you know? This is a fair matchup, maybe Ooze. This is probably a job for the white Zubra instead of the black Zubra. If we had to pick between two of the Zubras. I mean, they do have... Don't they have that one Eldrazi sweeper? I don't know if Selfless helps against us in that regard. Don't run Ooze? Okay. I don't know about Shizu. Well, certainly Sculler is something we should think about. I'm not sure if we want black or white Zubra. We'll think about it. Take Shrey out. Okay. So 4. All it does is sacrifice. Well, there you go. So Silent Chance. Okay, let's go with White Zubra then. So we brought in Scullers and we swapped into the white Zubras. We're gonna be on the play this time. Let's keep a better opener. Well, there you go. That's awesome. This is where we want to be. We can't cast the Sculler just yet, but that's okay. Actually, we don't even need to name Zubra on this Caverns. Maybe we should just use this Caverns to cast the Tide Hollow. That's something to think about. Yeah, we have rights, so we're not really concerned about Cavern. It doesn't really matter what we name with Caverns. I mean, ideally we want to name Zubra, but Kyrie says we could do what? I kind of want to get Godless Shrine, actually. Well, no. We need green for this. Oh, we do have the Overgrown too. This is actually a spot where we really want the Overgrown. I guess that will come up. That will come up from time to time. Or just name Spirit. True, they are Zubra Spirits. I guess that's why some people were saying you should make this kind of a Spirit deck. That's truth. That's true. I mean, these are all Zubra Spirits. That's very true. It's very true, Stream. We could go more into Spirits than I realized. I really wasn't thinking when we were doing that part of the brewing process, was I? Relic sucks, but is what it is. I think I'm just gonna slam Sculler. It's black-white. The old Overgrown Tomb Hallowed Fountain deck. I mean, he's not developed mana-wise to cast most of this stuff. I mean, what do you take? Do you take the removal? Do you take? He'll dismember our Emrakul's Evangel, but we're making a ton of tokens, and the Ratchet Bomb will be a concern. Owl's Dust obviously will be a concern eventually. So we're kind of in a weird place. You don't take Thought Knot or Reshaper here. You take one of these three. I think you have to consider the Ratchet Bomb. Take the Reshaper. I mean, these are colorless. I actually would consider taking the Ratchet Bomb. It's gonna hurt us later. A lot. Ball says I think taking bomb is fine. Yeah, I think we're trying to do this. We're trying to do the Evangel. That's what we're trying to do. And I think that's the only way we're gonna get this game. So we can name Spirit, that's right. So we are kind of a Spirit deck, aren't we? In a way. Because these are all Zubra Spirits. Alright, so we want to... Do you just play out the Emrakul's Evangel here? And then we can play right and then make a ton of mana. Like, that's what I'm thinking. And then play out these dudes and then sack them all. I mean, he might dismember, though, but this thing doesn't have haste, so that's going to be the issue with this as a payoff card. I mean, whatever he does dismember will just... Zeraseer. Oh, there goes his graveyard hate. Cool. So, Marsh Flats, why don't we get our basic planes and kind of go off here. I think we're in the clear now, guys. I think we're going to do really, really well here. I know we lost game one, but like I think we're going to go wide with this. Obviously, we don't sack the Sculler. Wait, is this... It's any number, so we don't have to sack the Sculler, but if we... Shoot. Was I supposed to do some tricks with the Zeraseer to make it so we couldn't get the Ratchet Bomb back? Or no, that's only if you have a bounce effect, right? I actually think there was a window for me to do the little trick with Sculler plus Seer, where you sacrifice the Sculler before its first ability resolves. I think I was supposed to do that with the Ratchet Bomb, because he's going to dismember the Sculler once we use the Evangel. Yeah, we could have. I didn't think about doing it. I don't really play taxes or creature kind of base decks like this very often, so I didn't even think about that little clutch play. That would have, but we didn't have his hand knowledge though, Curry Bear. We didn't know about the Ratchet Bomb, so like, I don't think there's a universe where I could have been like, all right, guys, he has the Ratchet Bomb. We have to take it because we're trying to do this. In hindsight, yes, but you would have had to decide it before you saw the cards, exactly. And I don't think that's, I just don't think that would have been possible, unfortunately. All right, Cryptolith. It's just one of those things, Stream. It just sucks that he has that ability to just totally crap on us with this Ratchet Bomb. He doesn't have the graveyard hit on us, though. So we got that going for us. Yeah, we do need that. That's what I'm saying. The blue Zubra is so very important. I don't really want to trade any of my dudes with this Reshaper. Van says, build your board. If he starts to ratchet up, turn them into tokens. Well, he doesn't have the Ratchet Bomb. It's in my hand. I don't think he's going to, though. It's very obvious that we're going to go wide with 0 mana tokens. Like, the Dripping Tongue says that. The Emrakul's Evangel definitely says that that's what we're planning to do. Yes, that's what he wants to do. So he's going to toast the... Yeah. We didn't bring in any of our artifact stuff, removal stuff? We should have. Alright, Ember Fist. So that's the other way we can win this. Ember Fist is great here. We can take out the Reshaper. Balls McGee! Science rules. Song request. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. Give me 1 sec, stream. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to probably crack some of these Zubras to get through the Reshaper. Alright, so what do we consider searing? Yeah, I mean, we want to ping the Reshaper dead, right? So probably crack these two Zubra. That's what I'm thinking. Crack white, then red, says Kyrie. Yes, that's the correct order, because you want the 2 damage to happen after. So white. Yeah, red should be second. Gosh, that does add a lot of interesting... Oh, top that. Bad boy. Alright, awesome. That's excellent. Music's too loud? Thank you for telling me. Van says, if you held priority, both would have resolved at the same time. Oh, fudge. Did I screw that up, Advant? We could have gained 4 life? I'll keep that in mind in the future. I'll try to do them at the same time. Kyrie asks, would they? We'll try it in the future. And he's at 7. He's got Tron now, though. What sucks is if he sets up the, we have to sacrifice all colored permanents. Is he just playing the Thought Knot? Oh, another Reshaper. Alright, think so because it checks for how many have died as it resolves, so it would have worked? Okay, let's so he's gonna shoot my Seer. We already know that we want the top card, so it doesn't matter. Actually, we have him dead with the Ember Fist, don't we? And this is where that Return the Ranks is good times. Yeah, can we kill him? Hold up. 1, 2... He's at 7. We chip in... Well, we're only going to chip in for 1 because he's going to definitely block here. But it's like... Maybe that's not even what the game's about. Well, actually, we can Sculler away the Sweeper. What am I saying? We're going to get Sculler back. How much mana are we working with if I don't use any Cryptolith Writing? We can get back some of this stuff. So if we just tap out entirely, hang on, cancel. If we use all the mana that we have, we're looking at return everything, which I think is what we want to do, right? Wow, this is sweet. Wow, it's working. Who'd have thunk? Should we do the Sculler trick so that he doesn't get it back? Hold up. This is a important point. This is an important point in the match. We only have about 11 minutes left, by the way. Sack it with the Sculler trick. Yeah, because that way he can't get it back, right? I think that's correct, actually. Yeah, bottom. I think we do want to make sure that he doesn't have the potential to get it back. So we'll take the all his. Oh, jeez, he has the Ulamog. I think we're more concerned with all his dust, though, aren't we? Ulamog 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he has Ulamog, but let's take the all his dust. We're representing how much Ember Fist Zubra damage. I guess we send it back. All his dust does hurt more? Yeah, it does. So if he does Ulamog, we just crack our Zubras. See what he exiles. I'm assuming he's gonna hit some of my Zubras. I don't know, if you're the Tron player here, the Eldrazi Tron player, what do you go after with the Ulamog? So he's going after my sack engines, which I think is correct. Alright, so let us let's go ahead and scry. Bottom. Just sack the whole team to Seer. Yeah, I think we just want to sack till we find another return or like a collector company, right? So somebody said do this with it on the stack. So let's do Silent Chant first. I thought I was holding control. Why did it not? Hold up. Why did it not let me hold? I was holding the control key. That's scary. Oh no, it is letting me do it, but no, it's not gonna work the way that we thought it might. No, it worked this time. I guess just my left control key's not working. Yeah, so let's see if that works the way you guys thought it does. And we're going face. So yeah, 3. You've auto yielded to the white one. You don't know. Okay, let me hit 5 and then undo my auto yielding. Then bottom of this. We should get 3. We do get 3. Okay, so you should stack them all at the same time. That's cool. All right, that's good to know. Bottom this. We're looking for more impactful spells. Return to the ranks. That's the perfect one. So top it, and we should win next turn. That's really powerful. Wow. I guess we just... Yeah. That's probably GG. Wow, that's powerful. Oh, that's a new song. Thank you so much for the song. Wow. That is cool. Just return everything? Wow. Thundering says, does the subbing use auto-renew or is it manual? I do believe it's manual, Bumpkin, but you'd have to ask. Kyrie would be a great person to ask. Balls has subbed in the past. Or I think you are still subbed, Balls. Balls would be a great person to ask. Wow, that was powerful. Ball says it is on auto-renew. Okay, so it does, unfortunately. I guess that's one feature that I don't like about... Although most Twitch subs are auto-renew, to be honest with you. Kyrie says it is on auto-renew. But you have the option to fire. Yeah, you have the option to leave, of course. They would not put that there. Ike says it is an auto-renew. But when it auto-renews, it emails you. Okay, that's good at least. Board in the Kataki? Maybe Pride Mage. I don't know. I think Pride Mage. Pride Mage. I don't think Kataki. I think you want the Pride Mage. Like, we wanted to be able to nuke a Ratchet Bomb. I think it's the Pride Mage, because he can pay for Kataki. Kataki's more like Affinity Hate. Pride Mage is better here, I think. Which is the Zubra that was just filler, the white Zubra? I don't even think we necessarily needed that much, like, life gain. Kitty would be best. I don't even think we needed that much white Zubra going on. I mean, I still think we need a certain threshold of Zubras or it doesn't work. We're actually really low. Dangerously low. We're on how many Zubra right now? We are on only 15, which I think that's a little low. You know what's funny though is like every game this Cryptolith right was like so huge for the deck. I think we were spot on by adding that into the deck. I worry that we don't have enough of that effect. Here's something to think about, stream. This does have Convoke. So, like, even if we can't company, like, we should be able to still return to the ranks as long as we have white. So I actually really need to change where this is happening on our curvature. I really need to change where the return to the ranks is happening on the mana curvature because I totally forgot. The Convoke is very relevant. So we actually curve more like this. I would argue that this can happen turn 3. Yeah. If you needed to. I mean, the whole cost of this thing can be paid by your creatures. So this is going to be kind of... I'm not sure where this is going to be on the curve. I can't imagine us doing this any earlier than turn 3. Gary says the deck's great. The issue with Rally is they get exiled, but it's Rally's okay as long as we... does Rally have Convoke on it? Ooh, we can't keep this. I don't think we can keep this. I wish, but this isn't much better, but at least it's got Vial. This is like that awkward conundrum where the deck doesn't... We actually won the last game without the blue Zubra, but I think it will top the blue Zubra. It is instant, that's true, but it doesn't have the Convoke. I think we want the Convoke really badly. is greedy to keep this hand. We'll see. Probably 3-drop. Yeah, Reshaper. Cryptolith. Well, that will be good if we can get it on the table. Just a matter of getting it on the table. Exile will only happen if they're on the board, though. Yeah, my worry doesn't have the Convoke. Like, we were able to do some really big return to the ranks, but that's not something we could do otherwise. If you get what I'm saying, stream? I think the Convoke is really important on the return to the ranks. Another Vial, okay, so we can go another Vial. And maybe we're just jumping with the blue Zubra. Who knows? Maybe we want to do that. I may have wanted to draw step Sculler him actually. Oh, he had Natural Tron as well. Yeah, I should have draw step. Yeah, I should have draw step Scullered him. He may have still had outs. Like my opponent may still have had like a Dismember. I should have draw step Scullered him. Yeah, I had a draw step stop on purpose. We can't afford to... Actually, I probably should still put the Sculler because that pressures the Ugin a little bit better. I think we just have to draw to extra cards, though, if we're going to have any chance. So let's go ahead and just draw a card off this Zubra. Oh, I was supposed to scry first. Ugh, punt. That was a free scribes. Oops. Rally is CMC, not number of creatures. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. How's the night been? Esper's been doing okay. We're 1-1 with the Esper deck. We're not doing as well with this one. Oh, I didn't mean to go 3. No, I did. Sorry, we have the Mirror Entity in my hand. But maybe this is a bad time to do it. To go to 3. Yeah, because I just drew that. What do you want to do here? Freaking Ugin. Jeez. Mess. We're gonna draw step Sculler. We can't because I went up on the Vial. So we're putting an entity and we're playing. I guess we're playing Sculler, right? We take a lot of damage to do that play. Why don't we play the Dripping Tongue? We'll put in the Mirror Entity, and maybe that'll be enough to pressure the Ugin. I'm not sure. We'll see what he does with it. I think we were supposed to draw step the Sculler, and he may not have had removal for the Sculler, you know. Smasher, yeah, they were just toast stream. It's okay. It was my fault, Kyrie. I was thinking about draw stepping with the Sculler. That's the nice little wombo. Either Vial plus the other. It is a nice little wombo. I think Rally might just be better than Thundering. Not necessarily. The issue with Rally is you don't... Oh, that's fine. Most things lose to Ugin? Yeah. Is this another Thought Not Seer? Oh, Ballista. No, if I put in the Mirror Entity, he just kills it right here, unfortunately. Go ahead and always yield that particular Vial, because we don't go above 3. At least in this current build. Oh, we drew the second Cryptolith right, too. I think we're just toast stream. Yeah. We've only got, like, so very little mana to work with here, unfortunately. I mean, I think we can stay alive for another turn, but... kind of stumbled. I kept a greedy hand, right? Didn't I keep a one-lander that was a Vial hand? We did mulligan to 6. That's fine. Yeah, I think we're toast. But it was interesting to see. I think the difference in the game could have been. I mean, he may have had the Ballista to shoot the Sculler to get the Ugin back, but it would have been at least a tempo loss of us taking the Ugin on the Sculler. I mean, again, it's very possible that he didn't have the answer. Ball says, I think this just happens to be a hard matchup. They have so many ways to hurt our stuff. Oh, jeez, even more stuff. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we probably weren't winning this one then. Look, judging from his hand, I don't know if he had the All His Dust already. Judging from that, we were. I still can't justify putting in the entity. It just gets shot. Well, we're dead if I do this block, though. Because we're in Ballista range. Well, we're in Ugin range as well. Alright, well, that was fun. I think the deck actually has more potential than even I realized, because it does have... These are all spirits. That's very true. We unfortunately didn't get to really see how awesome this could have been. Although, what's funny is the game that we drew, the Embercool's Evangel, we had the... that's freaky art right there. This is creepy. I think we just didn't really get to see it do its thing. I should argue that curves more like that. We just didn't get to see it do its thing, and it's not that it couldn't do it against Drazi. We just didn't get there. But I'll screenshot this for you, Kyrie, for you to save it for your own library, and then let's go ahead and trade. And I'll trade you the pieces. I had fun brewing this. I think it has potential. It's just that we ran into an unfortunate matchup. And I kind of want to get back to testing for Vegas. But thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much for the brew session. And let me go ahead and add these. So I'm giving you the Sulfur Spirits, the Caverns, this, that. Do you want all the Zubras? I can just give you all the Zubras I got. I'm not really playing them myself. I can give you what I can of the deck, and you can build up, start playing it. But yeah, Caverns, Spirits. Yes, you would? Alright, I'll give them to you. Probably modern, but I mean, we could. I mean, I'm pretty confident in my legacy deck. I have considered some changes, but I'm pretty confident in it. Let's see. Soul's Vial, Zubura. I do intend to play legacy as well. I'm not sure if you would prefer the foils or the non-foils. I mean, at one time we did try to brew Zubra. Just have them all. And the Shizu. These guys. What else? Spirit. Selfless. Spirit. Cryptolith. You'll need to get your hands on your own companies and your own return. I don't even know if returns... If returns not even worth that much, I'll just toss them your way. Because I'm not playing them in anything else, is the big reason, really. Ranks had one printing. It only had one printing. So it's about a half ticket. They're not that bad. If you really want to grab them, they're not too terribly expensive. The Evangels? Oh, here. I can add those as well. You're talking about these? Here you go. I can't think of any of the cards. I could look at the transaction, but I think that was it. Alright, go ahead and trade me, and they're there for you. Ready to go. Keep tweaking it, man. What's up, Sa? I'm pretty positive, Kyrie. But I can check the transaction if you like. This is an earlier version. What's it, Frostin'? I'm gonna play some leagues, Phyllis. So we're actually in the middle of a league. We're in the middle of. We're 1-1. We lost to what was our first round loss? Oh, we lost to Panza, but we beat Burn, which feels good because I'll probably see more Burn than I see Panza. Not that I didn't want to beat the Panza player. Um, it's not that I didn't want to beat the Panza, but what about Godo gifts? Actually, I snuck for my testing earlier today. I snuck the Godo Batterskull back into the deck for a little bit and then decided against it. What happened to the newest version? That's concerning. I had an Asgorio's Told 1.7. That's really concerning. Did it get deleted? Sometimes that happens with Moto. It'll sometimes delete your lists. That's really concerning. Concerned. I'm concerned. So I spent time today rebuilding it and now it's gone. What? Alright, enjoy Kyrie. You'll even if you don't end up on like a Spirits or a Zubra deck, you're gonna have a lot of fun with those vials. You could build Merfolk, you could build Slivers, you could build Bant Spirits. So there's a lot of directions you could go. Let me know if you need help brewing with around those particular cards. Or hell, you could go into Legacy. I've got some extra moms I'm not using, extra Mother of Runes. If you want to borrow, I've got some Death and Taxes staples. If you want to borrow some, I got Mothers that you can have to borrow at least, and I've got Stoneforge. If you want to borrow the creature base, I mean the creature base of Death and Taxes is relatively cheap. It's just a matter of, oh man, the Hiri. It's just a matter of, are you willing to get the Wastelands? That's really the big discussion. You just got a lot of the expense of that deck of Legacy. Death and Taxes, actually. I guess we're going to have to rebuild it. Okay. Has Robobot seen any new updates? Not recently, Thundering. Moto needs a text search function. Yes, it does. So I guess we're just going to have to rebuild it. So this was the... nope, this is not the right version. Oh, man, I do miss having Threads of Disloyalty, actually, in this deck. That was actually a really cool sideboard card. It was a cool sideboard card. Oh, man. I lost the version. Well, okay, hang on. Hold up. I have the version here. I have it saved here, so we're good. Let me just screenshot this, actually, and then we're going to rebuild it. It does that. Moto will sometimes just not save a deck list, and it's tilting, but it is what it is. What about Chalice and Chains? What about Legacy? I'm probably playing Tinfins. So let me pull this up. Another window, and let's rebuild the deck. That's tilting. Moto, why? Why you no save my decks? Deck lists are very, very important to the stream, if you didn't notice. To me. Oh, wait, I had a different name for this, didn't I? I think I was just calling it Espertold. That's lame. Let's stick with the Asgorio Told. Version 1.8 was what we were on. I don't know why I deleted 1.7, but anyway. With Jaces. It hasn't seen an update. I mean, I played a Stasis deck the other day that was basically an offshoot of Chalice and Chains. We're not running Serums, we're running Ancestrals. What about Gin and Toast? Well, what was the toast part? Was the toast like the fact that we say toast a lot on the stream? Like brew toast? I think I put the engineered explosives back into the main. So it says, what am I playing in Legacy? I'm playing Tinfins. that is still my answer. I'm playing Tinfins. It's my pride and joy. Let me just get it for you. It's my pride and joy, I have it right here, to play Tinfins. I actually unsleeved it. They're still in perfect fits. I got fresh perfect fits. And let me see if I can find it. think that's my... Yep, there's my deck box. I am playing Tin Fins. Yeah, it's like you got upset with them balls. You were shouting. Been seeing people running bugs still in Legacy with push. That's cool. That sounds sweet. Yeah, Standstill is very much a card. I have a buddy that used to swear by playing... he played Merfolk with Standstill, and Aether Vial is so silly with Standstill. Right. Oh, it's so pretty. They were looking really bad in those sleeves, but once I pulled it out, I mean, like, once it came out of the sleeves, it looks really nice. So I got some nice cards here. I mean, this is kind of my baby. Like, I've got Promo Emrakul, Full Art Signed Ponders. So we got some real niceness in here. Let's see. This is pretty much the only part of my paper collection I've really kept on. I've got some really cool sideboard plans. I've got, like, Monastery Mentor is one of my sideboard plans for my Tin Fins build, and then I also have Doomsdays. Classic Doomsday. Those are pretty much my sideboard plans. And then other than that, I have an Enlightened Tutor package with some spicy choices. It's because we say toast a lot, all of which make it a good... You want me to call this Gin and Toast? You want me to call it Gin and Toast, really? Alright, for you. We're gonna forget that it's called Gin and Toast, and we're not gonna be able to find the deck. Classic. Mentor. Mentor's so good. Not really in Legacy so much anymore, but... So here's what I did. I went back on the deck, and I added more ways, more cards that want to be naturally hit by the Thought Scour. It's had some good... What is this? Huh. It's awful. It's like, what is this? This card is awful. Sometimes it's fun to look at old cards, you know? And then you're like, wow, this card is awful. That's a cool card. Look at the top two, put one in my hand, the other in the graveyard. Maybe that would be useful for this deck, I have no idea. Espertold. Frostin', I just don't have the Goyfs, but it would probably have some combination of Goyf, or at least it would have the other guy, Grim Flare. I bought a playset of these. I didn't even rent these from Card Hoarder. A, because I wasn't able to, because they don't usually let you rent new cards off the bat. I'm sorry, Frostin'. I just don't have the Goyfs right now. A lot of our budget's on Lilies, and I'm not even running both Lily right now. Maybe we should. Maybe we should be running 2 Lily. I don't know. Maybe we should be on 2 Lilies. Maybe I should still be running the foil Talaria just so we can know what the deck would look like if it only had 1 Talaria. Because we're pretty sure that it's 2, but maybe I'm not so sure. That's why we had different Lilies. I purposely picked out the different Lilies so we could test when we only have 1 Lily versus 2. Like, Soul is just filler, but I wanted more cards that like being hit by the Thought Scour. So I was running like as many Souls as I could squeeze into there. I mean, I really liked this card, the, oh gosh. The, let's see, cons. Just remember that gin is a good drink for when I toast. Yeah. I was gonna test the Siege still. Brutality. Oh, brutal, what? Brutality. Skip Dash wants to know what archetype is being... So we're rebuilding our Esper deck, Jace. Just beat it. Great song. Jace's, West's... What else? 1 explosives, 1 living end, 4 gin, which I'm still not sure if it's supposed to be that many. Like, we've played as little as 3 gin. I actually, he's up there. Like, gin is up there. Like, to the point where, like, I was jamming just a playset in the current league. Right now I'm jamming a playset because it's the one that just seems to do what I want. And then I was only running 2 obs, I think. Right? Yeah, 2 obs. But maybe I'm supposed to slim on gin. I mean, I could see 3 gin. I could see 3, and then I could see adding the second Lily instead. You could justify that. And then that's how many targets? That's 5, 9 Goryo's targets. Trash wants to know, why are you going to run Jin over Grizzle? There's a couple different reasons. Why? Mono doesn't have Force of Will. So one of the huge benefits to, this deck doesn't already combo off with Grizzle. I think Grizzle's great when you're comboing off with it. I think Grizzle's great when you are, what's the word? Actually, I think that's all the pieces right there. Yeah, I think those are the instances when Grizzle's great. Is that when you're comboing off with it, we're not. We're a bit of a fair deck, and that has its drawbacks. Yes, it does. But I will say, hold up. Let me see what I'm missing. Okay. Yeah. So that would allow us to run second Lily if we trimmed a Jin, which I'm not even sure I want to do. That's why we're not winning immediately. So the Jin actually has some more value because the Jin is going to dump your opponent's hand, and then we're going to draw the 7. And there's no life points required. While a lot of players would argue, oh, well, Grizzle's going to pay for itself, it's going to connect. Not necessarily. There's Terminate, there's Path in the format. And the same could be said about Jin. Jin and Obs aren't necessarily going to connect. And Jin and Obs have the detriment that they're both removed by things in the format like Dismember. So Grizzlebrand does have the advantage in the fact that he's not going to get removed to Dismember. He's not going to get removed to that sort of removal. I guess Double Bolt would also kill both of these. But outside of specifically Dismember is what I'm thinking about. Outside of Dismember, we're not going to lose those threats. And in a lot of ways, I prefer that Jin attacks my opponent's hand. This is awesome. There's a lot of combo matches I've won because I'm running Jin instead of Grizzle. I would argue that Grizzle's the one that has a little bit of implication for all the different matches, but these are the ones that I feel synergize with a Goryo's deck that's not really, we're not comboing off with the Grizzle, we're not Tin Fins, we're just trying to get a little bit of value out of these Goryo's targets, whether it's Jace or whether it's Obs or Jin. We're just trying to squeeze a little bit of value out of these cards. So you could argue the biggest change between, for example, this list and this list here is we've added a Jin, we cut the restore balance, and we've added another loot engine, Monastery Siege. And you could argue that they're fine in multiples. So maybe that's where we start to go with the deck instead of Lilies. Maybe we start to just go to Monastery Sieges. That's tough. This would free up a lot of the brew budget, though. I mean, like, this would give us like about almost 200 tickets to work with again. Did I explain that well, Tomato Trash? You're not wrong. Like, Grizzle's still a fine option. I still just really want to explore Obs and Jin. I feel like your decks always have to have cute ones. Not necessarily. I mean, if we find that this is what the deck really needs Honda Speeder, because, like, Lily, sure, she's a discard engine, but she's not doing what Jace does. Jace is a loot engine. And I would argue that the Thought Scour is only incidentally awesome. A lot of games it won't do what we want it to do, and maybe we're just better off with Serum Visions. Maybe we're just better off with the Scry than hoping to hit. And yeah, I mean, that would give us a lot of draw power. Like, the Monastery Siege gives you a lot of draw power. Whereas Lily, yes, Lily's removal, Lily's pressure, Lily's a lot of things, but I mean, this isn't really a traditional Jund deck. This isn't a traditional Abzan deck, so maybe we're hurting ourselves by even considering Lily in this archetype. That's something else I've thought about with the deck. Anyway, let me finish fleshing out the mana base. To Lily seemed like it was fine. Yeah, I mean, I like Lily. I think Lily's fine for the metagame. I think the issue we run into if I'm just running a bunch of effects like this or this, we're not asking the questions anymore. I still don't know how I feel about Thought Scour. There have been some games where it's been amazing, and like turn one, we Thought Scour ourselves and we hit the Jin or the Obs or the Jace, and then turn two, we Goryo's it, and it's awesome. It doesn't always turn out that way. I mean, like how many cards are we like really hoping to hit on the Thought Scour? Like 12. Um, 12. Jin seems like it's going to be great versus combo and control. It's against fair decks, or decks that go Hellbent. Grizzle will be better. You know, it's funny that you say that, Skip Dash, and I thought I felt the same way until... Let me show you a little quick match. Now, doing replays on Moto is always a nightmare. Let me show you a little something. See, because I felt that way too, like decks that go Hellbent like Burn. I felt that Jin would not be so great, but let me just... Can I just show you a game real quick? That's the game. So I wasn't talking during that because I've watched playbacks on my stream, and I know that when Moto's operating at that speed, it just glitches out the whole stream. So I didn't want to do any commentary during that. But as you just saw, and that's not necessarily directed at you, Skip Dash, but I was skeptical too about Jin, and then like that match just happened tonight, and like Burn should be the equivocal deck. Burn should be the deck besides maybe like Affinity that just totally punishes reanimating something like Jin over Grizzle, and we crushed him. And so I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Like again, like here's the thing. Here's the thing about Grizzle in something like Legacy, or if you're playing like one of the various decks that was running Grizzle as like combo piece. We're not a combo deck. We're a fair deck, and so like. I'm not going to disagree with you that I think Grizzle's better against opponents that are going to have dismember. I don't even want to argue with you that you're right. I think that in most places, Grizzle Dad is going to be better against decks that are able to get their hand out. Why not just run Sun Titan or Images, says Slaterade? The issue with that is Goryo specifically says Legendary Creature. That's really just the reason, Slater. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, you could start to think about. I mean, that's actually an old standard deck, Slater. I don't know if you remember. That was called. It was really popular at the time I started playing standard. It was Solar Flare. There we go, Solar Flare. It was a cool deck. But whether we go with 4 Jin or 2 Jin, we'll see. Trash says Grizzle would have gained 7. But our opponent had Skullcrack in his hand. So Jin's draw not being contingent on us paying life points is actually huge. And there's several matchups where that matters. Thunder's asked did we end up winning and went to get my stuff. I mean, the biggest reason I went back to this version of the deck is because I love the synergy between Jace and Ancestral, and that was so cool to do that again. I mean, I kind of just want the deck to have more meat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really want to just hope to hit the right thing on the Thought Scour. I'm kind of tired of that. And we've tried that time and time again, and I just haven't been happy with that. I haven't. I haven't been that's not what I want out of the deck. So why don't we try something different? Let's try a different approach. Let's go toe-to-toe with our opponents a little bit better. Like, Path is something that can be flashback by Jace. Let's just run it. Like, Counter Magic doesn't really synergize with a Jace deck, but, like, Path is fine. Path is a fine option. And the fact that I'm shying away from the card is telling that I'm probably giving away a lot of percentage points against plenty of archetypes in the format. I mean, the Thought Scour is fine. I think this deck, once it gets revved up and going, it has a lot of draw power anyway. And I don't know. I think the cantrips in Modern are just kind of lackluster. You know, if I want to be drawing cards, I want it to be 3, or I want it to be draw discard. I don't think I think that there are times when the Thought Scour does the nuts for us, and we do hit the reanimate target, or we do hit, you know, like a Lingering Souls or what have you. But there are plenty of games where we hit the very cards that we want to keep. So like selection, like that Jace gives us, that something like Siege gives us, is awesome. So yeah, let's go back to some number of paths. I think we're very well set up against other combo decks. I mean, the playset of Seas, I don't really feel that bad against a lot of different combo. Especially since we're more on the Jin Gataxis side than Obsidian. I really do like having Obs in the deck, though, hardcastable. That's another knock to Grizzle. Grizzle's a fair target. And I own Grizzles in paper. It's not even a price. Like, we've tested the deck with Grizzle. Overall, I felt better about Jin. I felt better about Obs. I think the exception really is just Dismember. And that's a popular card right now. It is. You know, you see it out of Eldrazi Tron. You see it out of a lot of the Death Shadow decks. So that's another reason to look into Grizzlebrand. That's true. But he doesn't stick around. Like, the thing is like Jin, like, Grizzle almost feels like a Band-Aid in this deck. Like, in like the combo decks or decks that get to keep him, he's a finisher. But like Jin hitting our opponent's hand and then drawing us 7 is awesome. The fact that it doesn't require any life points to be spent to get us that draw is awesome. Obs sticks around. Obsidat sticks around. Jace flips into a Planeswalker. Like, all of the Goryo's targets that we've chosen in this deck are ones that stay, have a lasting effect. And I'm not saying that Grizzle... I guess the strongest, best situation we can give for Grizzle is I either block and kill something and then draw the 7 still. Gain the 7, draw the 7. Like, in the context of, like some of the aggressive decks, like, that's the best way you could use Grizzle. What about Esper Charm? Esper Charm's interesting. I just don't think we're the kind of deck for that. That seems like more like a Snapcaster deck. We're more like a tap-out Esper. We're more like an Esper mid-range, actually. Esper tap-out control. Esper mid-range. Which is why I like things like Lillian Souls. And anyway. But let's continue to test the Blood Baron. I really like that. We were testing in this new version. I was testing a Gideon package. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a little cute. I would argue a little bit adorable. Don't we want more instants to go with Espertold? Slaterade, you're not wrong. But I actually look at Espertold in this deck more like a combo piece. I mean, I've cast Goryo's off of it. Skip Death says the biggest thing about Jin is you only get one of the effects. You have to choose between. No, you don't. I mean, I'm not trying to be... Did you not watch last game, Skip Dash? We got both effects. If you Goryo's Jin during your opponent's end step, you get both effects. You make them pitch their whole hand, and then we draw 7. So it says, are you mostly setting up Astral Living End? Yeah, that's how I'm kind of using the Astral. Or setting up Ancestral. We're setting up Ancestrals, and we're setting up Living End. I mean, Path is another instant. I look at this card more like a combo piece. Like, if this was in like a control shell, we played this in a Jeskai control shell. Jay says, I like Foretold. Agree with Slater. Feels like it should be all in combo or strictly control. Well, let's just play another game. We're already doing well. Let's continue to do well. I've played it in both of those archetypes, Jay. And Slater. I've played it in both of those archetypes, and honestly, I like this deck more. I think this is the better deck. But I like this style more. I don't feel like I really want to be playing a fair deck right now going into the GP. I want to be playing an unfair deck if possible. This would be a mulligan probably. There's a lot of answers, but no meat. What about Espertold Mono Blue turns? I actually saw a guy streaming that, and it was really cool. This is actually a lot worse, though. Ugh. Keep it, though. Skip Dash says you draw on your end step or opponent to 0 on theirs. Skip Dash. Alright. Let me try to explain it one more time. Alright. So, it's okay that you're not familiar with the interaction. I've been messing around with Jin, Gitaxis, and Gorios for some time now. So, you wait until your opponent's end step. That's when you Gorios the Jin. So, it says each opponent's maximum hand size was reduced by 7. So, when they go to cleanup, which they have to go to cleanup, they need to go to 0 cards. We're going to untap with the Jin. We're going to attack with the Jin, potentially. We're going to go all the way to our end step, and then it says at the beginning of your end step, draw 7. We stack the trigger so that it exiles the Jin after the draw 7. You draw the 7, Jin goes away. So you actually really, I promise you, Skip Dash, you do get both abilities on Jin when you pair it with this card. You just got to time it right. You got to end step it, but you do get both sides of the Jin. And honestly, it's why I've liked it over the Grizzlebrand, because it wins a lot of combo, it wins a lot of control matchups. I'm not going to debate with you that it's not better against like the Hellbent decks or just aggressive decks or what have you. I'm not making that argument. I'm making the argument that it just completely can wreck those other archetypes. Skip Dash says you feel like the biggest dummy. No, you're not a dummy. It's weird. It's a weird interaction. You're not a dummy. And I appreciate that you had your side. You thought it worked a certain way. It doesn't make you, what's the word I'm looking for? You're fine, man. Ooh, okay. Here's a matchup where you get to maybe see the Jin shine. Temple of Deceit probably means Nauseam. This can completely wreck Nauseam, making them go to 0 cards. Yeah, that can really hurt at Nauseam. They don't really have much going on with the graveyard. Why don't we get this tap land out of the way? This is going to hurt us later. Maybe you're not a dummy, Skip Dash. Yeah. 0. So we really, really hope to see a Gorios soon. And that's just my issue with Thought Scour. I think it's we've tried it with and without Thought Scour. It's okay if we get the Hollow Fountain. He's Nauseam. Kat says I still like the blue-red Espertold. Was it like Foretold turns? That sounds cool, Cats. I mean, if I was to play an Espertold deck besides this one, it'd probably be Sultai, or it would be Jeskai Control, or it would be oh man, we just spilled over Thoughtseize, though. I have a feeling that it's coming up, so I'm just going to scour now. My reanimate target senses for tingling. Nope. Okay. Well, that's not good. Go. Yeah, we should have kept our 7 had a Liliana, and that's good against Nauseam. Decent. It's dece. It's dece. It is decent. Unlife, you got it. If we can hit his hand, we don't care. It's just a matter of will we get there. The reason I didn't play Darkslick there is I wanted to thin, because we're not getting there. Come on, deck. There you go. Now we're talking. Let's Espertold, let's Ancestral, and let's hit a Thoughtseize. Come on, deck. Give me a Thoughtseize. Give me a Thoughtseize. That's what we want to see. We want to see Thoughtseize. Give me a Thoughtseize. We got the Swamp to cast it. Give me a Thoughtseize. Shoot. And we don't have enough cards in hand to naturally discard the Djinn, which you sometimes will when you Ancestral. What's up, boot to the head? Raid? You're raiding us? Why are we being raided? Shoot. So it says, what do you think about passing? They move to discard next turn. Well, I mean, it might Slater Aid. The issue is we're giving him 2 turns. Well, I mean, what's our other option, though? We don't really have a good one. We may very well be dead. Oh, Geek Fortress, thanks for the host. If you guys haven't followed Geek Fortress just yet, they're based out of Snohomish, Washington. Their main commentator is a gentleman named TJ. Great guy. Like watching their coverage when I can. Okay, Siege. This might get us there. Make it so that he can't target us easily? Nah. They'll have the extra mana, right? He's working with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, hilariously enough, that might make a difference. They also have the Lab Maniac kill. So why don't we just go ahead, why don't we just pass and do what we were considering, which was the natural discard? And at least it looks like we're holding something up, you know? I mean, maybe he'll be really suspicious when we bin the Djinn and he's like, oh, he's just gonna Goryo's Vengeance. I just hope we can kind of poker face him a little, you know? Maybe he doesn't have everything he needs yet to kill us. We have a lot of game against Nauseam post-board, too. I mean, we do have our ley lines, and you just gotta... I mean, leyline is kind of a deal against Nauseam, but it's also kind of not, and that's the issue. He's gonna spoils? Yeah, looking for the combo piece. Yep. Assuming I'm dead now. This is probably ad nauseam. Went to 5. I don't really want to show him our Wombo then. Yeah, we should have considered just slamming the Siege and hoping that he can't target us unless he pays 2 is relevant. I think, I don't even know if I want, yeah, he's got the Lab Man, he's got the Pact of Negation in his hand. So he'll just counter whatever I do. I don't really want to show him the Djinn. I want to see his deck, though. I want to see his deck, but if we discard Djinn, we no longer look like a normal Espertold Esper thing. We're giving away all the spice if I do that, if I discard anything out of the ordinary. So why don't we just pitch like a Dark Slick or something? Yep. We just want to see his version. So he does have at least 1 Spoils of the Vault. Or 2, excuse me, because that was one that was revealed. So he's on 2 Spoils. 3 Spoils? 1 Lab Man main. Probably 3, maybe 4 Spirit Guides. Looks like he's on 3. He gets bare bones. I usually like the 4th Simeon, because then at least you can use it. So his version's actually only 3 Spirit Guides. Looks as though. Looks like his version's only 3. Which I think is fine. I mean, I've seen triple Spirit Guide builds, I've seen 4. The merit to 4 is you can use it as acceleration and you can still combo off. The other day I punked out an ad nauseam player because he didn't know how to resolve his Lightning Storm, and I just pitched a land and he didn't do it right. Jay says he might have the 4th in his hand right now. His hand's at 0 cards, Jay. Isn't it? No, sorry, his library's at 0. So you think the 4th's in his hand? That's true. That's why I like the 4th Simeon, Jay. I like the 4th Simeon for that very reason. Because then you're not taxed into trying to keep them. unlives? 1, 2, 3 unlife. 3 unlives. Obviously 4 nauseum. How many pact of negation? 1, 2, 3. At least 2 main board. Play set of Lotus Blooms. Yep. It's pretty standard. Guess I've seen everything I want to see. So he's this version of it. And I've seen the Spoils of the Vault version for some time now. It's pretty popular. Spoils of the Vault gives you the ability to win with just Labman hitting the table against opponents that don't have removal. There are a few decks in the format that are just so about their combo that they just don't run much or any removal. I mean, I guess we can be happy that we showed him really nothing about what we were doing. Now here's the clincher: do we bring in the Leyline? Because it's only going to stop Storm, doesn't stop a Labman kill. So do you run the Leyline? Now some Nauseam lists will have Thoughtseize. I mean, if you want to see what most Nauseam lists look like right now, you can look it up. Goldfish. Science rules. Sloth, thanks for that follow. MTG Goldfish, as far as what Nauseam looks like these days, let me see if I can find almost his exact build. I've seen some players, like, they forget that they have to let this resolve first, and I've seen some players, like, put another on the stack immediately. Like, technically I'm supposed to wait, but maybe I could try to punk him out by putting another one on there? I doubt it. Main decks vary only about 1 to 3, but the boards are wildly different. Well, I just want to show the stream, Jay, an example. I'm not saying we're gonna hopefully find what his looks like, but yeah, this is a pretty 3 Thoughtseize, so that looks like that's a popular build. Some number of hand hate. So yeah, we will maybe consider the ley lines. For example, I think that Obsidat is a little too fair, and that we want to stick with Jin. What does their graveyard hate look like? This guy had no graveyard hate. He had plenty of artifact hate. That ley line, okay. Yeah, I mean, our opponents saw Thoughtseize, so they may very well have their own ley lines. Alright, we win. So, some players just don't understand Magic Online, and I feel a little bit bad, but I mean, a win is a win is a win, and us winning means we can do more testing. We just punked him out, Jay. That's the second or maybe even third ad nauseum player I've played in the past few weeks that doesn't understand Magic Online. I'm not saying they don't understand their deck. That's not what I'm claiming. I'm saying my opponent did not understand Magic Online, and we punked him out. And I'm sure he's sitting there like, we won the game, what the heck? It's like, I don't really feel that bad, though. I played to my outs. My out was he doesn't understand Magic Online. I did redirect the Lightning Storm. It did. I don't really feel bad about it. Should I? Should we feel bad about that? But I did my thing! That's probably exactly how he feels right now. Oh god, we're terrible. I don't know. Souls is a little slow. Kyle says, just remember you gotta write that off as a loss for testing. Yeah, as far as paper testing is concerned, yes. We did lose, as far as that's concerned. Nah, shouldn't? You're supposed to try and redirect, says Cats. Is the Master says, how come he didn't direct? He did redirect the first time, he didn't the second time. Kyle says maybe he pitched too many lands. I don't think so. Playing dirty. Oh, according to Cats are the Spawn of Satan, it's totally within our bounds. It's not the first time. It happens all the time, actually, Wild. You'd be surprised how many times you come up against somebody in Magic Online and you get to do that. Win games that would probably be unwinnable in paper. It's just... It happens. You know, you just... You know what's interesting? We're thinking... Okay, so on a side note, we're thinking about cutting the Thought Scours from this build entirely and running just more meat to the deck. Do you guys want to see what the deck might play... How the deck could play if we do that transition? I'm kind of curious myself. I'm kind of curious myself to see what the deck does or doesn't do. Let's go ahead and try it. Let's try it. Because the new version is going to be just more... Yeah, meat to the deck. I'll keep it. My hope is that he doesn't have the Leyline. Oh, he's looking for Leyline hard if he's mulling. Yeah, he's going to have the Leyline here. No Leyline? Oh my goodness, this Thoughtseize is going to be awesome. They run Thoughtseize. Oh geez, there's our Leyline. I should have maybe mulled for mine, but I thought this was a solid opener. I am playing Obsidat. Let's go in Thoughtseize now, I suppose. I like taking the Nauseam. They have less Nauseams than they are going to have effects that do this. Let's take the Nauseam. Skipdash says there's been at least one instance in paper where the opponent made its very same or similar mistake in paper, so he'll just have to learn to know for next time. Kyle says, no, it's not dirty. It's something they need to be aware of when playing the deck, although that wouldn't happen during Vegas. Right. Hey, what's up, Yaz? Yaz, what's up? Yeah, I'll be playing Obsidat. Did I pull it out of the list just now? Yes, I did. Kind of wanted to just fetch at the Watery Grave. No, that means we won't be able to get in on time. I mean, I kind of want to put up a strong front and act as if we have a counterspell for his next spell. That I don't. Not that the life points matter in this matchup. He's playing Nauseam, so... So I'm going to float Countersquall mana, and then I'm going to say, wait a minute, guys. We don't counter the Phyrexian Unlife, okay, with our Countersquall. We would counter the Ad Nauseam. So you know what? That's fine. You got it. Am I going to go to Roanoke? Jay, I live in the Midwest now. Okay, is this Bloom coming off next turn? Is it Lotus Bloom? Yeah, it does. So I should maybe, instead of... No, I should still Gideon, and I should still Giddy Emblem, shouldn't I? I think that's still better than just slamming the Thoughtseize, right? We should do this. Yeah, I'm going to Gideon into Emblem. I think that's better than... I feel like the Thoughtseize at this point is just, like, not as interesting. Let's Gideon. Thanks for hitting that button. Yaz, welcome to the BrewSpytheMagicGuy show, Yaz. Welcome. Yaz. What's up? Jay says, you didn't know I moved? Yep, I moved for love. Moved to the Midwest. I told you about her. And now I'm like 13 million hours away. I'm just kidding. It's 13 and a half hour drive away. It's one time zone different. Vegas is like 2 more time zones different, though. It's California time, baby. Thanks. Yeah. No, I like it a lot. Well, I mean, there's ups and downs, as most things. Do you slam the ley line? I think we do. Tempted to hit him with the Gideon? I hope he doesn't have a rando removal spell. I guess if he does, we just play the ley line. Gideon is hilariously powerful in a matchup like this. I'm just really thinking about the implications. But I thought Magic was your one true love. I've moved for Magic before now. I guess I haven't yet. That might happen though in the future. You knew about her, just didn't know you moved. I got you. I got you. I've been good, Buckin' Broncos. How you been? Buckin', I owe you a deck brew sesh, don't I? Aren't you? Or is that Poseidon? Who's my... Who is the one? I got a guy on the Game Wisp list that I still owe a list to. Let me go to my fulfillment page. Pretty cool. Good luck, Shapes. Thanks, Sib. Isamaster says... Okay, hang on. Let me read what you said, Isamaster. Give me a second. Give me a second. So what interaction with Moto caused him to mess up? So Isamaster, I took part in the lightning storm, and he didn't realize that I had redirected it, and probably just the wording on Magic Online is what screwed him over, honestly. Spoils in response. That's not good. Does that make sense? Let me see what else you wrote. But that's not a Moto... So that's not a Moto misunderstanding. That's him not understanding how his cards work. That's very true. Oh, wow. He probably just lost. Well, hold up. Hold the phone. Maybe not. So what did he name on the vault? What did he name on this spoils? Is there anything that I can do, or are we just dead? We did take game 1. I have to go all the way up here. And it would be the last card in the pile. What's the last card in the pile? Hold up. Okay, Gideon, Emblem, Bloom came off. He cast his Serum Visions. Oh. Jay says he's dead. I'm trying to find what he found. Yeah, he has no deck left, so he must have named something that doesn't exist. Oh, he named Omnath. That's funny. Did he mean to name Omnath? Looks like he named something like Omnath. I saw an Omnath. That's random. Yeah, names Omnath Locus of Rage. My opponent has become a Locus of Rage. He has rage quit. We got there. He has raged. He has become Omnath, the Locus of Rage. Oh my goodness. I mean, wow, you can have more than one love in your life. Like, I have a love for engineering. I have a love for streaming Magic. I love my girlfriend. So, poor guy. There's the shame scoop. Frickin' Gideon holding it down. Jay says probably after his game 1 loss, he was the full tilt. Yeah, maybe. Alright, Ball says, I know I have a list for this month's resub, but I'm not going to ask for anything this close to Vegas. Oh, you're fine, Balls. You know what? I tell you what, the reason that we did Kyrie's is because that was really long overdue. Kyrie's brew session was long overdue. So yeah, this is the Thought Scour version. I kind of want to see what the next version holds for us. See if, I mean, like, I like Thought Scour when you're trying to enable delve spells a lot, but if you're not trying to do that, I don't like it nearly as much. This hand's interesting. I think it would be a mulligan. The Gaia Reach had interesting implications. This is probably even a keep, and you just hope to scry to a discard effect. So we're going to bin this Godless, and good luck, have fun. And I know you're sitting there, and you're like, oh, my opponent's name is its cliche. I know you're sitting there, you're like, BrewSpy, how could you possibly keep this 6? And I think it's fine. I mean, we're just looking for that one piece. What's this deck session? We're trying to figure out what we're playing for Vegas. Oh, there's your Goryo's Vengeance. So, do you want to take off a couple turns to try to naturally pitch one of these Djinns? I would consider it. We might not see a discard engine. It's just pass. Now, depending on what he's playing, I may have to shift gears and be like, oh, we can't afford to sit back and try the natural discard anymore. He's something aggressive. My hope is that he's something like mid-range, like maybe he's Jund, and then outside of like a Terminate, we're smooth sailing. Well, I thought CCR also would be an issue. Yeah, it looks kind of Jundy over there. Could also be Living End, which is another reason to naturally pitch the Djinn. Oh, there's your Obsidat. Since I have no idea what he is, I'm gonna go for pitching Jin. We're gonna pitch Jin. Now, if he is living in, then this Bajuka Bog's amazing. If he was living in, though, he would have cycled something. Absolutely would have cycled something. So I'm thinking he's Jun, just hasn't pulled the trigger on anything yet. And if he's Jun, I still want to lead Jin. Most things, I've just found that the reason that we're heavier on Jin than Obs is most matchups you want to lead on the Jin. Was he playing Legacy? Am I playing Legacy Dredge? No. Oh, he's playing Bring to Shift, actually. That's terrifying. I definitely want to Jin Gitaxis this guy. Yeah, he's playing Bring to Shift. So let's do this so we thin a little bit first. I think we're going to get him in time, I hope. Hope he doesn't have anything spicy to bring to light. Draw, discard, Legacy Dredge. I mean, there'll be games where I'll do this. I mean, the only reason I started to do it, though, is because we top-decked Agorios. If I hadn't top-decked Agorios, that moment, Balls McGee, I would have been playing out my lands and trying to get to this Lingering Souls. And I'm just really glad that we saw the Gorios right then and there. It totally shifted our game's plan. Alright, what do you got here? Chandra. Okay, you got it. Prime time, that's terrifying. Oh, but it entered the exile zone. Whew. I mean, now I kind of... You know what? I might have to go after this Chandra. I might not get to pitch his hand. No, but he could have Escape Shift. It's very tempting to just attack the Chandra with the Jin immediately, but I feel like we still have to try to get his hand. Because either way, he's going to Titan us. Like, either way, there's going to be a Titan. So, the way that we get around it, I don't know if we can. I mean, this is one of the deck types that I'm looking to dodge, if you're wondering. This is something that we're looking to not play against, if possible. I guess I go Fountain. No, we have Lily. Let's get the Godless. Blue is kind of a splash for us, honestly. Outside of, like, Vendilion Click, we don't really need a high amount of blue. Just shred his hand, says Rudy. Well, my issue, Rudy, is oh, another Goryo. Okay. My worry is that there's just not enough time. Yeah, we'll go after his hand. My hope is maybe he's trying to play around a counter spell that we don't have. I feel like the Jin should be a huge giveaway, though. We should take this draw stop off when I don't have the Vendilion Click in the deck. It's in the sideboard right now. It could be main deck, though. It is something that you could Gorios. Forest. This is probably just Titan, isn't it? Yeah. There wasn't much I could do. Well, we'll end-step Jin, that will shred the rest of his hand. And then we just have to hope. We just have to hope that we can work through the Titan. I think my current version is just so soft to this. Like, I'm trying to build a new version that's going to have more lilies and more paths. This is definitely something... Game 1, like, we usually lose to the Valakut decks, unfortunately, unless I'd gotten the Jin off a lot faster, which we didn't. We had to do a natural discard. And case in point, we never even saw... I mean, maybe I shouldn't even show, because we're probably dead. I probably shouldn't show it, but I guess for you guys, I'll show you the trick, the Wombo. So he has to discard his hand, we get the information at least. So we got Escape Shift in there. Whoa, Summoner's Pact, Abrupt Decay, Fatal Push. Interesting. Guy Reach, that's not going to help. Okay, so, yeah, we're just toast. Probably. Well, I mean, we could try to get something. We could try to, like... We have the Gorios in our hand, so we're going to get something. Like, we might get the Obsidat back. Probably still want to play out a land, though. It sucks that we can't even attack into that prime time. I mean, Obsidat wouldn't do any better. We needed the Fear land. So, like, we got pressure from the active Valakut, we got pressure from Titan, we got pressure from Chandra. Let's draw our 7 and see if it does anything. Yeah, you gotta shred your opponent's hand sooner than that, and we just didn't have the hand to do it. Nah, this isn't gonna cut it. We're just gonna show more about our deck than we really need to, if I do any sort of discarding here. But I think now here's the thing: in our new version, like an out would be us drawing Path to Exile. So, I mean, Jin's powerful, but it needs to happen sooner for it to be relevant. I think this is definitely a Jin matchup. Ops doesn't do enough. Lily's fine. Siege doesn't stop effects, does it? I thought it just stopped spells. It's spells that target you. Click in, get into the trials, ley lines. I don't think Thoughtscour is impactful enough. I've been cutting it a lot, and I'm not a fan. Brutality has to stay in. Living End's got to stay in. I think Souls is just too grindy and slow. Liliana has implications. I think Explosives comes out. What else? So we have room for 3 more cards to come back in. What do you guys want? Pact the Negation is a tutable counterspell. It's relevant. Maybe we want both Gideons, because like if we Gideon Emblem and he removes this Gideon, second Gideon could be relevant to keep us alive. I mean, I think we have a lot more game post-board against this archetype, and then maybe we want the tutorable removal spell. I think we have a lot more game against my opponent's deck post-board. The Thoughtscour just feels like filler. It doesn't even... It's not... There's inherent synergy, and sometimes you get lucky, but not really all the time. Let's mull. Maybe we get a 6 with a leyline. Ugh. If this just had one land, preferably a fetch land, this would be solid. 2 Thoughtseizes, and we could suspend an Ancestral. We have the leyline. I just don't think we can keep this 6. No lander. Yes, we have a scry. Yes. And yes, we could scry and hope that the land is coming up in the next 2 to 3 turns. Even if the land is even 2 turns away, this still could maybe be a keep, because Thoughtseize is very impactful in this matchup. Leyline can buy you a lot of time. Then at least you're not toast to the Valakut side of the deck. You're dead to the other things in the deck, the Planeswalkers, the creatures. I still think I have to mulligan to a 5. I mean, what I mean, like, so let's say this draws to the first land in 2 turns. Froston says keep it. Getting 1 land in 2 turns could make this keepable. Alright, well, we'll try it. The issue, though, is we're not on the draw. So, we're really hoping that the deck is kind. And this is a hard matchup, so if we lost to my mulligans, I would argue that even if we had a playable hand, I probably lost. Relic's fine. It's not fine, but it's going to have to be fine. And before you draw your basic planes... Oh man, Moist Junk, I could draw like a Ghost Quarter, man. I could draw a Ghost Quarter. I could draw the tutorable discard land. What is it? Oh, he does have Prismatic Omen. Okay, I considered bringing OGs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're dead. We're so dead. We should have looked at a 5. But I think even still, like, he had the relevant sideboard hate, the Relic. And we didn't bring in our ways to combat it. Alright, so let's take a look at that hand. Let's not despair. Let's not give up. Shift, Decay, don't care about the Decay at all, actually. Well, I guess Stony wouldn't have been an answer. Well, I guess Decay hits Espertold, but I'm more concerned about the other stuff that's going on in his hand. The Summoner's Pact is going to end us sooner than the Scape Shift does, so let's take the Summoner's Pact, because that equates to a Titan. And then we'll probably take the Shift with this other Thoughtseize. You know, we have time to suspend the... Oh, well, let's just... You know what sucks is I'm tempted to hold the Ancestral because we have the Espertold, but we might not see 3rd land. But, yeah, Pact for sure. Alright, we'll take the Shift. Play Fountain. And that might be a place where you're supposed to suspend the Ancestral, but I suspect we're going to see 3rd land before 5 turns go by. You know, and that's how long it would take for this Ancestral to come off anyway. So I'm hoping. Alright, there's our Gorios. Not all that useful in the face of a relic. And maybe that's the other thing I should have considered. Like, some matchups I'm supposed to transition us into more like Esper mid-range, and I'm supposed to cut our Wombo. I just feel like this matchup's so tough that without our Wombo combo of Gorios, Jin, or what have you, I just feel like the matchup we can't win. So maybe that was oversight. I mean, honestly, like, this match is really slowed down. Maybe some Lingering Souls could have gotten there. Now, this Prismatic Omen's already live. But we don't take any damage thanks to the Leyline. Leyline's buying us a lot of time. So while we would normally be very, very dead right now, and maybe we didn't need to take the Scape Shift, obviously he still had to remove the Leyline. Alright, let's play Jace, even though Jace is going to die to the Valuku. Nah, it doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem worth it. Well, I guess we might get to Gorios the Jace, and that could maybe prompt him to use up the Relic. This Jace is very dead. This is a very dead Jace. Oh, he's just going to Abrupt Decay it? Ah, okay. That works too. Well, that's an Abrupt Decay that doesn't hit my Espertold. That's actually huge. Maybe he should have cracked the Misty Rainforest to kill the Jace instead, because if we draw land now, we're going to get this incessant. Oh, is this Titan? No, it's Baloth. We can handle Baloth, maybe. Alright, so we've got the Jace trick. Pass it back. He hasn't been keeping up with his Relic. He should have been exiling this whole time. So even if I go for the block with the Jace, the opponent has Misty Rainforest crack, but I can just flip the Jace in response. Like, we'll go for blocks first. We basically, we want to put it on my opponent to be the one to... I mean, either you crack your Relic or you don't. Okay, are you gonna crack your Misty and you gonna let me block this Obstinate or what? Alright, so I'll force him to use the Misty Rainforest. Oh my goodness, he didn't kill the Jace? That's huge for us, stream. Oh no, we weren't flipping him yet, that's truth. Well, we still got a free loot off it. Yeah. Sorry, I thought we had 4 cards already in the graveyard. We didn't. We only had 3 at that juncture. But we can Gorios it back. No, we can't flip it yet, but maybe we will this time. I still think it's better for me to Espertold instead of try to flip this Jace again. So we drew our land. Let's do it. Let's Espertold. Let's Ancestral. It's going to let us pitch the Jin because we're going to go to... No, we're going to be at exactly 7, aren't we? Never mind. Almost. Yeah, sad face. Sad pandas. Uh-oh. Sure. I still got my draw 3 off, buddy. Alright. It's crazy. This has actually turned into a game I didn't think it was going to. I mean, I can't take 4 from this Obstinate for long. Summoners up the Titan. Ugh. Alright, well now we need the Living End. I've considered a second Living End, actually. Stream. I have. Because sometimes the first one gets Thought Seized or Inquisitioned. That'd be a reason to add a second Living End. Like, Living End right here would be so amazing. Kill both his threats, and we get back a Jace? Are you kidding me? Maybe that's where we need to go with this deck. Maybe we should have the second Living End. Because we can't always tutor for it. The fact that your opponent wasn't using the ruin, yeah. Maybe you should buy into a second Living End, because, like, I'm only running 2 Talarias right now. That's like we have to top deck it. Buckin says, I see the I'm watching. Hey, Buckin, go ahead, man, and you can... I mean, the way we're doing it right now is we're doing... Oh, Pact of Negation wouldn't have helped us either. What are we supposed to do here? Just play Jace? That seems bad. Well, in fairness, if I try to Gorios the Jace, he could just pop Relic. Why don't we just chump with Jace? Chump the Baloth, I mean, and hope for something better? I don't know. I think we're in deep. I think the Relic was unfortunately enough to stop us, and maybe I should have... I mean, here's another way I could have boarded for us. Like, I could have boarded out the Reanimate Wombo. Well, you could leave in Living End because it's a sweeper, but, like, pitch all the things that are really just and then slim on Gorios, maybe keep in like one copy or something, and then that makes a lot of space, and we turn into more like an Esper mid-range. You know. Fluxus will just fetch and bolt the Jace. Yes, and he probably will. I don't see how we get out of this. I feel like I have to, unfortunately, naturally draw the... okay, there goes my graveyard. Another relic. Yeah. I probably should have considered that. So kill Jace here. Actually, we knew he was killing Jace regardless. We should have probably spent the turn just playing out an Espertold, to be honest, stream, because now Talaria isn't an out from the top. If I draw one, I'm gonna feel really silly. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was relevant that he abrupt-decayed these away. Like, it was, I suppose, slowing us down from setting up the living. I just want to see if we ever would have seen the Talaria or the living end. Nah, we wouldn't have. Alright, good games. So Valakut still continues to be a problem for us, and I'm hoping that the next version I'm brewing up is going to be better in that specific match. Alright, so we're 2-2. Let's finish this up. Let's do one more. See if we can 3-2. We've had some we've had a 4-1 with this archetype. We've had some 3-2s. Let's get another 3-2. Nothing wrong with a 3-2. 3-2's positive, so let's stay positive. The next version is going to be a little different. I'm bringing back the paths is kind of the big thing. Maybe I do want second living end, especially since we did cut Talaria. That's a thought. Yeah, Moist Junk. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at the point of maybe it's time to ship it and try something else, you know? I really, really, really did want to play Espertold for Vegas. I'll keep this. I really did want to play... I don't care so much about the rest of the deck. This is the card I care about. I really want to play this at the GP. I think there's potential in that card. A lot of potential, actually. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep the explosives. It's so flexible, but... I'm going to bind it. Kind of want to get to that third land. I just really want to play an Espertold deck, and there's a bunch of different ways we could play it. The only requirement is that the deck has some blue in it. You know, like, other than that, you kind of are free to brew. Obviously, you should definitely consider Ancestrals, but other than that, like, the deck is pretty open. Are you doing Restore Bounce? Are you doing Living End? Are you trying to go pure combo? Are you doing, like, Wheel of Fate? What are you doing, you know? Alright, speaking of Wombo combo, the obvious pick is the Violent Burst. Yeah, speaking of Living End. We shouldn't just immediately Brutality, we should wait for the right time. Oh, but that means I don't get to Espertold on time. Well, I still feel like in this matchup it's probably more important that I time our Brutality for the utmost potential to hit another Cascader. So that would mean not playing it just yet. That would mean waiting a turn. That also means not playing our Espertold on time, but that's okay. Matt Dem says, but we got Mana Screwed Game 2, Game 1 we had the worst hand ever. Oh, well, I appreciate you, Matt Dem. I still think the archetype's awesome, a lot of fun. I think it can play the role of a Wombo combo deck. It can also play the role of like a mid-range Esper. It's not Esper control, it's like Esper mid-range or Esper combo. That's what this deck can do. And once the draw engine does get going, it doesn't really stop. Like, your first Ancestral usually leads to a second Ancestral, which leads to a third Ancestral. Like, the thing about normal Ancestral decks is you had to wait turns and turns for them to continue to resolve. The Espertold breaks that. The Espertold lets you continue to resolve Ancestral after turn after turn. It doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and Brutality here. I just want to pick his hand. Now, I could drop the Souls here, but I want to give ourselves a chance to boom. Alright, so there's... Unfortunately, he has both. He has both Dread and Outburst. I'm going to take the Outburst for obvious reasons. But we're going to want to hope to hit another way to deal with Dread. If we put any creatures out there, we're just giving him the ability to do it. Now, interestingly enough, if he living ends his entire graveyard onto the table, and then I living end him back, it'll fix the issue. And that may have to be something that we do, like we have to wait for him to do it. Now, the issue will be Fulminator Mage. My hope is that he just plays the Fulminator, and yeah. So he's probably going to Fulminate and not immediately blow up a land. Oh, he is going to. Okay. I figured he wanted to have a target for his Demonic Dread. I guess he doesn't care. Okay. That's you. He may have drawn a different Cascader. I thought he was going to use his Fulminator as the target for his Demonic Dread. No, he just wants to take us off our non-basics. That's very relevant, unfortunately. No, he's hanging on to this one. So this one he's going to hang on to. Oh, or not. Okay. Maybe he's already drawn the other Cascader. Alright, let's build our mana back up. That's you. And maybe you're not supposed to play the Dark Slick because maybe he already has it, the other Cascader. Another Fulminator? Jeez, the third Fulminator. This one he probably keeps. No. Okay. Alright. Does he just not have the Cascader? Because remember, we know that he doesn't have... There has to be a creature on the table. We know he has a Demonic Dread. Yeah, he's just not doing anything. It sucks that I played out the land thinking that he was trying to work his way into that. Alright, here we go, Shizu. I'll take a Shizu, just need a blue source. Why not just use something like Glorious Ends this Kyrie? No lands for you. What about Kiki Espertold, his Frostland? Did he just top deck 3 in a row? Yeah, but now he's not doing anything. I mean, neither are we. Did he draw another Outburst? Ugh, he did. Yeah, we're dead. We're out of luck. I think this is a matchup that we've won in the past, but in some ways we're just... And we're not really a living end deck, by the way, stream. That just happens to be a situational reanimate sometimes sweeper. We're not really a living end deck. Yeah, we're dead. That's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I haven't seen Twisted in a while. Welcome back. Yeah, we're dead. Alright, let's board. So what do we have? I've added some more cards for the living end matchup than I've had in the past. Alright, Crypt comes in. So we have Bog, Tutable Crypt, Calatus, Click is good. Pact is good. Other than that, I mean, Blood Baron handles their board nicely. Jin's kind of hit or miss. Yes, my opponent's a combo deck, but I've talked to other friends. I mean, I had a buddy that used to play Living End, and what's hilarious is the cantrips in Modern are so garbage that Living End is one of the decks that arguably draws the best in the format. The entire deck is Cyclers. We're gonna cut the Explosives, we're gonna cut the Lily. I think Souls is maybe not where we want to be. I don't know. It's more of a draw thing than a matchup thing. I mean, I would argue that Living End draws very well. I would argue that Living End draws really, really well. They're set up to do that. We're going to be cutting the Thought Scours in the future, probably, so why don't we continue to test and see how the deck feels without them. Let's try the Gideon package again. Big Giddy, little Giddy. And how does that look? We have room for one more card. Why don't we test the Ojitai? I don't know. You can fly over. You can fly over Living End. Living End it's just one of those battles of attrition, and it does that really, really well. Better than pretty much any other deck in the format, actually. It really is good at attrition. Speaking of which, I don't know if I keep this. Let me mulligan that. It's really good at attrition. I think we keep this. This has a discard engine, it has a Gorios, it has a Jin. Let's keep. Actually, I think I'm going to bottom the Obsidian. Podtrap says, but Thought Scour has the potential to mill you for random target. The issue is it just never seems to hit. And I think the issue is we have too few things to hit Podtrap. Like we have, yes, we have the playset of JD6, we have the playset of Jin, but other than that, we have like a couple Obstats. It's just not consistent. And I'm not saying it's wrong for our deck because it's inconsistent. I'm just gonna suspend this. I think the issue I have with it is it's either like the most amazing thing ever or it's just a really crummy cantrip. And I'm not that excited about running a card that either is exactly what we need or very, very little value. It kind of fluctuates a little too much for my taste. Yeah, he did just top deck 3 in a row. Fulminators. Oh my goodness, triple. So much Street Wraith. Okay. That's a lot of Street Wraith you just did, buddy. And then he reanimated them. Okay. I actually don't even think that's that crazy because they have Swamp Walk. We'll be dead in a few turns. Thoughtseize a little too late to the party. Yeah, I think we're just out of luck here. Sometimes Thoughtseize is a little late. I mean, we didn't keep our 7. Our 7 would have been completely wrecked. Bucket Bronco 69 with the subscription. Thank you so much, Bucket. Even though we're in the face of an infernal army of doom, thank you so much, Bucket Broncos. Welcome back to the show, and I'm excited to see what you send in for your brew session. You guys get an hour brew session when you guys sub and when you resub. Welcome to the brew crew. Thanks, balls. Thanks for that. I know you weren't saying that to me. Alright, Jay says, I know you love Toolbox. Maybe Espertold was not meant to be suited for Heart Control Shell. Yeah, I actually think we had a lot of good going on for us. What are my outs here? Do I have to hit like another living end? Maybe I'm supposed to reanimate the Jace, actually. I'm just trying to think of what my outs would be. I don't think Jin's going to be good enough. Jin into Obstat, what is this, 4? It's 7 now. Even if I blocked and gained 2. Block and we go to 9, block this, we're still dead. It's 9 right there. We're Xaxie's dead. Right, I mean, we could go back to playing like a Jeskai control. Or if we have the living end here, it'd actually be decent. Good games. Yeah, I mean, I do have my heart set on Espertold. I don't have my heart set on playing this. I mean, I've really liked this deck, messing around with this deck, but it might just not be a good time to be playing it. Just simply because, you know, it doesn't do well against Terminate Path and Dismember, and those are popular card choices right now. That is neat. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And that's something we talked about in the past. I'm just trolling him. We're just messing around. Have I tried balance? I have, Bar Trap. I have tried balance. We'll take something with us. And maybe that's the last league we run it. I mean, we've tried going deeper into the combo, Jay. You should have seen us when we went really deep on the combo. We went as deep as well, this isn't it completely rebuilt. I mean, I really like the style of the deck. I really enjoy it. I'm fine though moving away from it. Like, both threats die to a lot of the removal that's being played right now. Your paths, your terminates, your dismembers even. Like the Goryo specific list. Yes, that was so much fun. We had like a very specific build, Jay. We had one that wasn't even trying to play like the Esper mid range potential. It was just specifically, I don't remember what we called it though. Oh, here it is. I was looking for this. Oh, that's why it got moved. Fetid Heath. So this is the version I was brewing for earlier. It's subtle differences. Combo seems fine, but wouldn't even old school gifts be better? I'm not sure. That I'm not sure. All right, so let's open a new shell. I'm fine. I'm all for brewing a new something or other. I mean, I'm drawn to the ideas of... We haven't explored Sultai. I've had a lot of people that want to see Sultai Espertold. Benefits of a Sultai Espertold, if we build the mana base a certain way, we kind of get to run like a Zern Orb effect. And then I think the restore balance becomes very strong. Although the benefits to Gargadon is you have you have a really huge, awesome Gargadon after the dust clears. Although I guess your opponent could float their mana. I guess they could float their mana, and if they have a removal spell, they still get it off. I think in a vacuum, the enchantment is a better enabler for that combo. Do you know what I'm talking about, Jay? Like, I'm really looking for something that lets us pick up all our lands, or destroy them all, and then put the opponent on no lands. Does it make sense? See, that'd be a reason that I'd want to brew a Sultai version. I think we already started it. I don't remember what we named it, though. We started brewing it, and the issue would be I'd have to borrow Goyfs, and I think, how expensive was it to borrow Tarmogoyf right now? Or we could try Grimflayer. I'm probably going to go through Spare Deck. That's what I use for GP Charlotte. Grand Prix Charlotte, I use sparedeck.com. If you guys have never used it, it's great for paper events if you're probably not going to own the deck, but you just need it for a tournament. So you want a one-sided Geddon? I do. And I think Bug might be the colors to do it. Let's see, Tarmo, Goifu. So Goyfs are about $10 to rent right now. Now, I know that sounds steep, but it might be worth it. How much is Grimflayer? Grimflayer is something else I'd want for the deck, maybe. Flayer is 2. Kai Form says, I'd love to see a Brew of Infect where the deck shell is like a shadow deck, but the goal is to fetch up Crusader. Oh yeah? That sounds interesting. Alright, let's open a new copy of this, and then let's move it into See, the nice thing about Sultai is it's more proactive. And I think my issue is we did try Jeskai Control Espertold, and it did feel good. It did feel good. My worry was it wasn't very proactive. And the enabler that we were using for the Geddon was Gargadon, which is fine. It's just I think that this Sultai card is going to be better. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We'll come up with a better name once we figure out what the deck's doing. Let me show you what I was thinking. Jay says, I don't even like red in the format right now. Sultai Control with Foretold seems fine. Yeah, I think you'll be pleased. So we were going to maybe try Living End, or we are going to try to build it around Restore Balance. And if we did run it around Restore Balance, we were going to run Dark Heart. Bolt kills nothing. Good players play around Moon. Yeah. How did the brew sesh go? Yeah, Goblin, we had a fun time. This is what I was talking about, Jay. Dark Heart. Because sometimes Sultai can struggle with burns, so not only do you have this card that turns your extra land draws, like let's say you're flooding against something aggressive, it's fantastic. Bug sounds kind of good, kind of feeling like Espertold will end up looking like it should be cut more than the Heart. I think Heart would be cut first before Espertold. Alright. I'm not sure about Living In though, but I do like this synergy right here. I like this more than Guard. So we've tried, let's see, Claws. We've tried, before we get into the meat of the deck, let me just show you what we've tried already. We've tried Claws, we've tried Garg, we've tried, I even considered bouncing all my lands back to my hand. Gargadon we tried. What else did we try? We tried, what are some other enablers for the restore balance we've tried? Trading, what is it called? trading? Help me out here, stream. What is that blue enchantment? Trade routes. We even tried like him, or that enchantment. Like we've tried a lot. The benefit to trade routes, and I do have a black border one, so you guys don't get tilted. The benefit to trade routes is that I guess it was kind of expensive. This one was expensive because it's Mercadian. But you can just return your lands to your hand. Now the issue, Jay says, why not just play good Sultai cards? But I'm trying to pull this off, Jay. Anybody could play good stuff Sultai. Anybody could do that. Kyra says it wouldn't. Yeah, I think the Zuber deck turned out better than I even hoped. Anybody can do that. I think this has potential, and I'm willing to explore it. Because we tried all these enablers, Jay. None of them were really doing what we want. The issue with the trade routes and the closet gigs is it costs a lot of mana. Jay says, why not just play blue-white? Blue-white could do this. Blue-white could do trade routes plus balance. Trade routes is actually really cool in like blue-white control. I mean, this turns all of the lands that you would draw into cycle. It's actually a very powerful effect in blue-white control. So I think we've tried Claws, we tried Garg. I'm willing to try either of these to enable the restore balance. My issue with trade routes is you're gonna have to tap out to do it. You have to bounce all your lands back to your hand before you do it. Barchef says, but trying to make your entire mana base forest sounds really painful. Right. So that's the issue. Is there a blue-white control deck that exists? I mean, Jay, quite frankly, I saw the most amazing blue-eye control. We played against it the other day. It had like full suites of Tectonic Edge. It was the coolest thing. I have to show it to you. We got destroyed by it. It was like he had like at least 3 Shadow of Doubt main. He had to have had at least 3 Tech Edge, if not 4. He had some number of Ghost Quarter. And it was just like, the rest, it was just like a really solid, normal blue-white control. I think the only oddities were he had like a main board Gideon and a main board Jace. But it wrecked us, and it looked just really, really good. It was really cool. And I would love to get my hands on it and maybe make some changes. It had a Crucible. It did have a Crucible. What else did it have? I certainly have a Crucible somewhere, don't I? I thought I had a Crucible. Kyrie says, what about Quicksilver? I don't know about that. I could have sworn I had a Crucible of Worlds. Oh, I still have it. Sounds like the build that Xion ran. Don't forget Spreading Seas. Yes. So Paul was playing something like that? I haven't watched the stream in a while. So he was doing something like that? This is something I could actually have for us on stream, though. Like, I don't have the cards really right now to play like a Dark Heart of the Wood version. I mean, Trade Route seems really cool as an enabler to turn on the Restore Balance. Or otherwise, it's just a tunable sweeper, which is still good. That's the thing about Restore Balance is, in this shell, it could either just straight up win the game, or it could just win cons were something like Elspeth and Gideon. No Snapcaster mages. Why no snaps? Why no snaps? Because it just didn't have enough targets for snap. I mean, interestingly enough, I mean, I think that Espertold kind of goes a little bit away from Snapcaster. We tried to play Espertold at the same time as Snapcaster, and we were having some issues. Maybe 3. Played against it about 2 weeks ago, says Jay. Okay. Well, walk me through it, friend. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Maybe we're going to be a blue-white control player. Walk me through. What else do we need? How many paths? How many condemn? What do we need? Does it run any, what is that cool card for something like Burn? Does it run any Blessed Alliance also that's good against, like, Bogles? Or maybe even Infect? Tell me it's got at least one Blessed somewhere. 4 Cryptic, 4C, some Paths, some Think Twices. It sounds up my alley. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. So Gideon, I have Elspeth. What about Jace? This Jace? I don't know if we're gonna run any Jace in this. I think the problem with Jace is he just gets tagged by... I think that's why I'm fine moving away from what we've known. Because honestly, Stream, our last deck that we've been brewing for a while just keeps getting tagged by removal. I am a little tired of it. I think we had a cool concept. I think we just need to recognize that the meta is filled with a lot of hard removal, which makes sense because you've got shadows. Run some detention spheres? Really? D-sphere? Really? Snap seems good though, because you can play it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make all the same card choices, Jay. I'm probably gonna make some changes. I only have one shadow. We'll have to get more shadows. Or maybe my opponent, like the version that he was on, just had way more shadows than we should consider. Sphere's really super strong though right now. Well, we're gonna want like an engineered explosives. I miss that deck, Jay. Still have them. My demonic packs. Still got them. Intervention pack never got any better, did it? It's still kind of an awkward card. Bucket says, glad to support your stream again. I support you way back when, donating some spell snares, back when running gifts, back when it wasn't possible to subscribe. It's come full circle to subscribing. Hope to continue to support the stream. Buck and Broncos, thank you so much. The money right now is being put towards GPVegas, and that's not too long from now. We're in, what, 18 out of how many days left? And, my sub goal needs to go up by like 2, by the way, today. I didn't even realize. Properties. Sub goal has gone up. We're on 30 right now. So we are 20 subs away from a 12-hour stream. Thank you so much. I trust you, Jay. That's true. I think you're right that D-Sphere is pretty strong right now. We may run more than I was considering. I'd like a condemn. Some number of condemns. Maybe not main board. But let's see, there's some nice condemns. Blue condemn, sure. What kind of counter magic are we talking? So you said play set of cryptics. How many sweepers? Keeping in mind that we have a tutor bowl, restore balance. How many verdicts do you want? 1, 2? I need to get some more cryptics for this deck then, huh? Okay. I could trade back in the lilies and we could start playing this tonight even, potentially. You want a Sphinx Rev? I have a Sphinx's Rev. So think twice. I think you still have a copy of my Starfield. I do. You want that back, Jay? Trade me. Padre says, I like the idea of more packs and 3-mana Gideon since the packs are tutorable. I still feel like that's a sideboard plan. Run some more Rev. That's a lot of Verdict, Jay, and we also have a tutorable sweeper. Remember? I mean, I'm down for running some amount. Yeah, the format's kind of gone away from, like, Iziri and, I would maybe run 2 to 3 Verdict in mine. Not, I mean, like, we can get a third one. Tolarius, yes, it is going to have Tolarius. Probably 2. Now, Talaria with trade routes is a nice synergy. We could also consider a copy of Deprive. I don't know how many Talarias you want to run. I mean, the maximum would probably be 3, but even that's a lot. Probably 2, but we'll see. I mean, with all the bounce effects going on, why don't we try 2, and we'll run 1 as a foil, 1 as a regular, and if we draw the foil, we'll be like, alright, maybe that's an extra Talaria. This is looking like a real DAC, right here. It's looking like a real DAC. Looking like a real DAC. It should be here. Run an Oboro. Oboro? Oboro because it returns itself? Oboro, so when we go to balance, we can return the Oboro? That's an interesting idea. Or maybe you want to add like a Flagstones. So if and when we do balance, at least, and we don't have the bounce effect, we at least get some, yeah, that's an interesting idea. Jay says, run at least one more win con. What about some colonnades? Ours are tutorable. In this version, colonnades tutorable. How much is Celestial? Since we're getting close to the tournament, I'm starting at 250 to borrow one of those. All right. Speaking of Celestial, I'd really like to have a Celestial Purge in the board as well. Colonnade. I certainly have colonnades. There we go. Curve looks a little high, though. How many lands are we going to have? Asks Shay. That's a good point. 100% go with 4 colonnades. Okay. That gives us another win condition. Alright, now do you want to start fleshing out the mana base with things like Mystic? 8. How many islands do you want? How many... I agree, Shade. I think it does look a little high. We'll slim it down. We're just brewing. God, am I really going to be a vanilla blue-white player? Blue-white control, really. Probably 3 to 4 island and at least 2 plains is where I feel like the deck is going to be happy. Maybe we'll want some of that as well. I'm just going to put it in there so we can think about it. I'm not necessarily going to run... Jay says this deck looks way too fair for you, Sean. I mean, I used to play just straight up grindy blue, white, red control a long time ago. I think, honestly, what happened is I started to have a love for degenerate decks. And I think I started realizing that fair decks just aren't really good enough for modern, I would argue. Let's cut the cutesy lands. We'll think about Oboro and Flagstones in the future, though. I just, that's how I feel about modern these days. I just feel like if you're playing a fair deck, you're hurting yourself. But this actually doesn't seem like that fair of a deck. I feel like the bustedness of Espertold Ancestral / Restore Balance is actually really neat. Parchop says, but have 2 Flagstone, it'll be a combo with Crucible. Okay. Well, we could cut that and that. I think it's going to hurt our Cryptics a lot, though. Our Cryptics are already, like, really sad with us. We need the Mystic Cape, actually. Our Cryptics are already angry with us. Look at our mana base. Look at all those tech edges. It's got to be wrong. I mean, double tech edge is a play that I want the deck to be able to make, but sacrificing Cryptic is not worth it if we're going to be built around Cryptic. Well, actually, let's run the Glacial. I'll take Glacial. Bucket says, I remember those days. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Alright, what's our graveyard hate going to be? We're not running Snapcaster Mage, so maybe that's a reason. I mean, like, the reason to not run Snap is that you want to be able to sideboard into some number of Rest in Pieces. And that, I think, is powerful, and that I don't mind. Is that the reason that they weren't running Snapcaster, Jay? That they wanted to have more slots in the deck and be able to side into things like Rest in Peace? If that's the reason, I'm all for it. Give me a Dispel. Give me, you prefer Cage? You like Cage over Rest in Peace right now? Okay. Cage. Give me some Graph Dig. Alright. I think I have plenty of Cages, actually. I have 2. Okay, Cage, Dispel, Stony Silences. Yes, that makes you able to play. I hear what you're saying. I don't know how many Stonies we're going to want. Stony's pretty solid. Cage, it's good against Company and Dread. Yeah, and it's cheap, so maybe we can protect it. Maybe we can even protect it. Who knows? So we're not really running many counterspells. I mean, I would argue that although Deprive works against kind of the fact that we're trying desperately to get to these 4 mana plays. Actually, Restore Balance should really be here. Not that I am trying to make the curvature, but Deprive is something to consider because it lets us reuse the Talaria Wests. I I don't know if we're gonna run something as deep as Deprive, but it's a thought. Do we want a V-click? Shade says it won't stop Delirium or Death Shadow Recursion.